Recording.
This is my representation of what I've learned in this class and of what this class means to me. Before taking this class, I was a lot like Casey in that I focused a lot on just, being a nice teacher and just, some of the things that I wanted really had nothing to do really with the goals of what you got across so much as being welcoming to students, and that's a good thing, but we've learned a lot in this class and I think it's changed. So we start with the MLR, which is my talk. No. And then the MLR, because these have stars on it, is sprinkled all the way throughout all your lessons and your unit. As
Erika?
you see.
I think I'm missing a tape. Do you have a
The
tape?
bottom is, no, it's in there.
It is? Okay. Sorry.
And the bottom is your lessons. We kind of work our way from the MLR down to our lessons. These aren't individual lessons though. This is a maze. Represents the puzzle of putting together a lesson. It's difficult at times. Sometimes you get stuck in a rut. So this is a ball. Represents getting to know your students, but also the MLR or the multiple intelligences, different things that students dislike, what they're good at, what they're not good at, knowing your class. This represents using technology to engage your students and being on their level. Hard part is going to be keeping it in there. This represents unwrapping or uncovering the content in a lesson. So just making sure that you, this here represents the formative assessments, pre-assessments, the ways that you find out where your students are at. This mostly because I use blogs in all of my lessons for journal entries and stuff to get a feel for what my students were learning. This represents getting students' attention, making sure that they
Love it.
What?
Love it. You can get a $10 fine.
Anyway, getting students' attention, making sure that they're on task, so on. These are silly bands that are of all different weather, and that was just being prepared for anything that could happen in your class, being prepared within your lesson for ways that it might change a little bit that still would be a teaching moment and still would be important. This is perm solution. Represents having think time in your lessons. Students can think over what they've already learned and it absorbs in their head, right? This is a PED. Represents grading and having a record of what your students are accomplishing and knowing what they're doing and where they're at. Scissors represents creativity and being creative with the lesson and being creative in the way that you present the material to students so that you could get them to really be involved in it when they feel like it's a cool way that it's presented or it's a different way that they might not have thought of before or whatever. The slinky represents stretching your students, not because you want to be mean, but because you believe that you know that they can stretch. You know that they can grow, and therefore you stretch them to where you know that they can be because you believe in them. I don't know if it's going to stay in there. There we go. And then the bottom really is just my explanation of all of these things, and I just thought it was cool to have an actual representation.
Nice.
And we're taping because Dr. Teresa wanted a record of it because I told her what I was doing, and she was like, "Oh, that's so cool." So she wanted to see it.
And now she'll hear your impression of her.
That's fine. She will know that. Oh shoot, I forgot. This was the hook because of the hook of your lesson. I forgot that was in there.
Looks unimportant.
Where'd that go?